In the name of God, I said you salam, and we continue the anterior abdominal muscles. I told you about the external oblique abdominis muscle in the last file. I told you in each muscle we must know 4 notes. One is origin of the muscle, second is insertion of the muscle, third is what's the action of the muscle, and fourth is what's the nerve of this muscle. I spoke in the last class about the external oblique abdominis muscle. I told you the origin is from the lateral surface of 8 terminal ribs, and I told you insertion of this muscle is in the lateral lip of iliac crest and in the linea alba. This muscle in the medial and anterior and the inferior, it has aponeurotic. You can see here better. This is aponeuros of external oblique in the anterior and the medial and in the inferior. Inferior border, this aponeurus is named inguinal ligament. Here is the inguinal ligament in the anterolateral is attached to anterior superior iliac spine, and in the infromedial it is attached to pubic tubercle. Here is linea alba. This is another insertion for external oblique abdominis muscle. The linea alba is a white line, white tendinous that is in the superior attached to xiphoid process, and the inferior it is attached to symphysis pubis. Here is the linea alba. Second muscle is internal oblique abdominis muscle. You can see another shape. It is external oblique. And another muscle, here we remove the external oblique, and this is internal oblique abdominis. What is the origin of this muscle? This muscle is from many parts, have many parts origins. One is iliac crest. This is origin. This is one origin is from the intermediate part of iliac crest, from here. Second is from inguinal ligament. These fibers is attached to inguinal ligament. They are named arcuate fibers. Another is from the posterior, from the thoracolumbar fascia. From the posterior, from thoracolumbar fascia. Thus, a part of fibers come from here, from the thoracolumbar fascia, from the posteriorly. And what is the insertion? The insertion is some fibers come to the anterior and attached to lower ribs. This is one insertion. And another insertion is this is aponeurotic and coming for performing the linea alba. Thus, the insertion of internal oblique is in 2 seats, one seat in the lower ribs and another is linea alba. Another muscle here that we have, this is the transverse abdominis muscle. You can see this is transverse abdominis muscle. This muscle is originated from the posterior. One origin is thoracolumbar fascia. Second origin is from the medial lip of iliac crest. Third origin is from the medial surface of 6 terminal ribs from in the thorax. Here is. And fourth origin is from inguinal ligament. They are named arcuate fibers. Here is. And this is aponeurotic, and the insertion is going from posterior to the rectus and coming to linea alba. Thus the insertion of the transverse abdominis is linea alba. Another muscle that we must speak about is rectus abdominis muscle. The rectus abdominis muscle is in the superiorly, the origin attached to the xiphoid process and the cartilaginous of the 5, 6, and 7th ribs. And the insertions is in the inferiorly attached to symphysis pubis and crest, pubic crest. Because the fibers of rectus abdominis is very long, here we have tendinous tissue. They are named intersection tendon. In all persons, we have 3 intersection tendon. One is in the umbilical. Here is in the umbilical plane. Another is in the inferiorly, and another is between 2 discs. 1, 3, 1, 2, and 3. Maybe we have many. Here is fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. But in many persons we have 3 intersection tendon. Here is linea alba. In the forming linea alba participate all 3 anterolateral muscle: transverse abdominis, external oblique, and internal oblique. Now you can see here this muscle and another shape I want to see you. Here you can see here this is a transverse section. Here you can see I want to going larger. You can see here you can see the rectus abdominis muscle. The rectus in the rectus here is in the central, because I am going for arrow. My arrow is disappeared and I cannot point it for you here. I will continue in another file that I have my arrow for pointing better. Thank you very much. Goodbye.